Okay, here's a picture of a diagram for the same information as constructed in class. I put the delta t over here when I constructed it in class. Maybe that's the reason it came out actually, even though it's smaller, it's a little more compact, but actually perhaps a little more readable. What we want to understand about this diagram, in addition to being able to construct it, if you were just given the diagram with none of the triangles completed and no color coding or anything, would you be able to identify the triads or triangles and write down the relationship for each? And I noticed over here I didn't have the net on my delta W. Let's go ahead and put that in. It's easy to leave that off, at least it's apparently easy for me to leave that off. Okay. And then, do you understand the meaning and units of every quantity in the diagram? Not every triad, just every single quantity. Do you understand what delta T means? Do you understand what V naught, VF, F net, M means? Do you understand what V bar means, what delta V means, etc.? And do you understand the units of every one of these quantities? And then, what three quantities are related by every triangle or triad? And how do we get any one of them knowing the other two? Of course, that constitutes the relationship, or the relationship constitutes the way we can get any one knowing the other two. I'll also comment that there are plenty of things here that we could use to determine new information. For example, if we know V naught, delta S, and A, we can determine VF, we can determine delta T. Okay, how would we determine those things? Well, knowing V naught, delta S, and A, we can't pair any two of those quantities up, so they would not form a triad. We actually need an equation that relates three quantities to a fourth. We need one of the equations of motion if we know V naught, delta S, and A. So there's no triad there. But are there other triads in this diagram? Are there other triads we could construct? Okay, I'm going to come back to this in just a subsequent video, and I'm going to just point to every quantity and briefly say what it means and what its units are, just in case anybody is still a little uncertain of that. And I think after the test that there's some people who are getting most of it, but they aren't always getting it right. So some people are going to need to hear this.